Joining us now from the McCain headquarters is Doug-Holtz EAKIN, Senior Economic Advisor with the McCain campaign. Mr. EAKIN, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure, Lester.
To Barack Obama's point in that soundbite, at least when it comes to the economy, McCain favors renewing the Bush tax cut. What evidence is there that those cuts have been good for the economy?
Well, I mean, there's the simple evidence that Barack Obama himself has said on at least 2 occasions that raising taxes in a bad economy is probably not a good idea, and he even thought that maybe he should defer his. Now, he's since lost his judgment on that, but it doesn't take a whole lot of economic research to show that if you're going to raise taxes on the one part of our economy that's created 331,000 jobs, that's the small businesses with fewer than 50 employees, you are endangering the one bright spot in the U.S. economy. John McCain is not going to do that.
But has John McCain not flipped on this? If you go back, and unfortunately we don't have the sound, but he talked to Hardball several years ago on the same issue and kind of made the point that supported this issue of redistribution of wealth, that maybe those who make more should pay more in taxes.
John ran for the presidency in 2000 on a tax cut, and he also paired that with fixing Social Security, having a stronger national defense, and with spending controls that would have reversed the legacy we've got after the past 8 years.
Right.
So certainly he's supported tax cuts, and when he didn't see the policies that went along with them, he voted no. But going forward, he has the ability to do the things that George Bush hasn't done, an aggressive reform of our unemployment insurance and displaced worker program, so that, you know, in an economy where when a job goes away, it probably doesn't come back, we actually have a way to get people to new jobs.
Right.
An aggressive energy program.
Let me follow up the point, because I didn't paraphrase it well, and I'm told we now have that sound for what John McCain told Hardball on the college tour back in 2000. Here it is, and then we'll continue.
Why is it that someone like my father, who goes to school for 13 years, gets penalized in a huge tax bracket because he's a doctor? Why is that? Why does he have to pay higher taxes than everybody else? Just because he makes more money? Why? How is that fair?
I think it's to some degree because we feel, obviously, that wealthy people can afford more. Look, here's what I really believe, that when you reach a certain level of comfort, there's nothing wrong with paying somewhat more. And frankly, I think the first people that deserve a tax cut are working Americans with children that need to educate their children, and they're the ones that I would support tax cuts for first.
And Doug, I'm trying to follow your reasoning, but you heard what I just heard there. How is that different than what Barack Obama is saying now?
This is prior to the 2001 tax cuts. What John McCain had was a tax proposal that put the middle class first in line. Absolutely appropriate at the time. Right now, what Barack Obama is proposing is to raise taxes in a dangerous way for the sole purpose of sending checks to people who owe no income tax liability. Now, the U.S. tax code has a long tradition of progressivity, and John McCain embraces that. Right now, the top 1% pay 40% of the taxes. The top 5% pay 60% of the taxes. So there's a lot of progressivity out there. That's very different from a proposal that says, let's simply take more money for the sole purpose, not of meeting goods and services, but of sending it to people who are paying no tax liability and labeling it a tax cut.
All right, Doug, let's take a broader look at this race now. You saw the NBC Wall Street Journal poll. Barack Obama up a good 10%, over 50% now. But there were some other numbers in there which I think might be more telling. And in terms of who's more excited about their guy, about half as many McCain voters are as excited about McCain as Obama supporters are excited about Obama. Are you worried about getting your supporters, your key people, to the polls on November 4th?
Well, obviously, we want to make sure that we do a good job of getting out the vote, but we see a lot of support for John McCain and Sarah Palin, a lot of enthusiasm. We have compared our telephone calls made, our doors knocked, our volunteers to previous efforts, particularly the Bush-Cheney effort in 2004. They all come in favorably. And the Wall Street Journal poll is really an outlier. We've got polls today, the AP, it's a 1-point race. These polls are all over the map. They are testimony to the fact that the race is going to tighten, be close, and you know, we're very confident that John McCain will prevail.
Your point's well taken. They are polls. No one's voted yet, and we'll keep that in mind. But Doug, thanks so much for coming on and talking with us. We appreciate it.